Hey there, and welcome to Game Sweet Zone, where we analyze and recreate video game music. It's nice to have you here, after 3 months of no videos. This time, we will be covering the music that plays in Volcano Peak, which was composed by Ferna in 2010. We'll also be trying something new this time around. This video won't cover every single pattern, and we'll only use them for demonstrations instead. A video in the description has the rest of them. Now everything's 1% less boring. The music has a 3/4 time signature and moves at 140 beats per minute. This section isn't being played by one sad and lonely instrument, but by multiple sad instruments. Not like most normies, we'd probably just get typical orchestra strings that sound like all the others. But no, we can confirm that the strings are also Persian. Now we need to do even more digging for instrument samples we can use. We found nothing, but eventually I tried again, and lo and behold, we found our savior.
Now let's get into Persia, and check this out. I couldn't resist.
That's the sound. That's the sound we're looking for. Play it again. Now we just need to get our hands on the sound library. Oh my. Okay, no problem. I can easily cover that with 1 month's worth of YouTube money. But we don't need to shell out $200 just for accuracy's sake, because we can do it for less instead. After paying $15 to start a subscription service, we have access to thousands of sounds by East-West, and they conveniently have the plugin we're looking for. Using it is actually quite simple, however. It sounds exactly the same as the strings in the music without any editing, so we'll just place the notes like so. What do you think? Based on the music's description and the instruments available in the sample library, is it likely that she used another instrument from the same source? You're right! Good job! Apparently, the music was spiced in the middle with Chinese instruments. One instrument is from the same sound library. It's called the zonghu and belongs to the huqin family of string instruments. You may be more familiar with the sound of the erhu. Basically, the erhu is also known as the Chinese violin, so the zonghu is kinda like the Chinese viola. The difference in pitch is what matters, so we will use the zonghu for the upcoming lower pitched notes. We'll also use vibrato, an important articulation that gives these instruments their recognizable sounds. It's thanks to vibrato that we can make sounds like this, instead of this. Vibrato is already enabled with this one, so not much needs to be done. We will also raise the attack parameter a bit. Which changes how long it takes for the sound to start. The tambourine, the instrument that never ceases to leave me alone in these videos, is also used. It probably would have been a different instrument, but I couldn't find any Chinese or Japanese percussion instruments that sounded like the originals, and another Game Sweet Zone episode was long overdue, so I just went with a tambourine, like the culturalist peasant I am. Sadly, it won't pack as much of a punch as the original, but we will still spice it up a bit. We'll be utilizing an effect called reverb. This effect helps simulate what an instrument would sound like if played in different rooms. We can give sounds a bit of depth this way, and prevent them from sounding too dry. It's not the same as going out and playing actual instruments in certain environments, but hey, it's as close to the real thing as we can get. Judging by the sound, it is likely that she used this one as well. It's called a Bansuri, and it's from India. Wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. What? There aren't any Indian instruments listed in the description. Anyway, an important articulation we need to abuse is portamento. This involves the instrument sliding up to a destined note rather than playing them one after another. Here, it makes a lot more sense if I just show you. Think of it like modifying the note you're already playing to match a different pitch, instead of playing the note, letting go, then playing another one. Let's not be unfaithful. The music uses Japanese taiko drums. Should we use them? Nah. The Pipa? No! The Pipa, also known as the Chinese lute, is also used in the music's later half. To be honest though, there's not too much significant about its usage. We just select it from our sound library, put in the notes, and we're set. I'm not going to try and force information in the video, so let's just listen to what it sounds like instead. Alright, obviously I was kidding about the taiko. The use of this Japanese percussion instrument is pretty basic. We use two different versions, one with a lowered pitch and one with slight variances in sound. Besides that, it's the same case as the Pipa, so let's just hear what they sound like. The Guzheng, also known as the Chinese zither, is a prominent plucked string instrument in the music's middle section. Once again, same case as the taiko. We've essentially covered all of the music's material, but we're still not done. Instead, let's add a little more in ways that would naturally fit in with the rest of the music's direction. We will mainly be making use of the shakuhachi. This Japanese flute will be playing during 3 different periods. What will really make it stand out is the use of articulations, which help us vary the way the instrument is played. For this particular sound library, we just place notes where we need articulations to happen. These are notes that do not make sounds. It will play the second part of the main melody to add some variation, since the Bansuri is the only instrument that plays the main melody. We will also have it play alongside some other instruments in other sections. Finally, what I really want to talk about here is the balance of volume and sound between the Persian Strings and Bansuri. Have a listen to this. Wasn't the Bansuri a bit hard to make out? That's because there's conflict between frequencies. For now, it's fine to know that sounds are made up of different frequencies, and by changing the volume levels of certain frequencies, we thus change the sound's quality. In this case, the Bansuri's overall sound is more defined in mid-frequency ranges. Should you lower the volume of its mid-frequencies, the instrument is no longer clearly audible or defined. The problem is that it sits in a similar spot as the Persian strings, so it can be tough to keep it from mixing with the sound of the strings. Therefore, thanks to equalization, we gradually lowered the volume of such frequencies for the strings, just as soon as the main melody kicks in. That way, the lead instrument is clearly and fully audible. The strings lost their unique sound qualities, but that's the price we have to pay for clarity. This is all basically a game of sacrifice. It's like Fire Emblem, but with frequencies, and sometimes just as ridiculous. At long last, I finally made another video, and I'm a lot more proud of this one too. It's a shame this one took longer to make, but I guess that's the price I have to pay for quality. I love this series, yet it still manages to be the bane of my existence. Hopefully you believe me this time. Anyway, stick around a little longer to hear our result if you like. Besides that, thank you for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Wow buddy, you said nothing this entire episode.
Bye! Have a beautiful time!